All right. Let me have a try. Should be good like this, right? Honestly, I have no idea again because I'm just, of course, filming with the front, the main cameras of the phone, and so I can't really see myself again. What is this about? Subac, the Subac Zone. Let's talk about Subac. What's Subac? Who's Subac? Why Subac? Yeah. All right. That's a long story because we really have to go back to what was it? 2013, I believe. So around 13 years ago, when I decided I wanted to become a writer. So like a graffiti artist, right? And as any good writer, you would need a good tag, the one you use to sign off your artworks, right? And at the time, I was in love with old school music. I just, I kind of discovered all the biggest, the legends of the hip hop music: Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Rakim, Wu Tang Clan, all of those giants, right? And I was in love with their music. Like I was like, what is this? Like before then, I was like a big hip hop fan, but more on the new school, like Eminem, 50 Cent, so 2000s, early 2000s. Well, not so new anymore. I get it, but you know what I mean, right? And then a friend at high school um, downloaded. We used to download music on online at the time illegally. Downloaded this I don't know, like this album of greatest hits from the 90s and 80s, basically from the start of when hip hop originated till late 90s, right? Gave it to me, shared it with me. I put all the music in my computer, and then I started listening to all of those tracks one by one. And I was like, man, like this stuff is so cool. Like seriously, so cool. I mean, imagine I was in my teenagehood, so you pretty much get excited about anything, honestly, at that age. But more specifically, in my case, music was already something I was so passionate about, and then uh, I take the those this like this memory card that my friend passes me, and I whatever, I just fall in love with all of those songs. I think it was more than 100 songs at the time, and like I said, it was including all of those big hip hop, old school hip hop stars. Now, Subac. What's Subac? Back to me choosing the tag I would use to sign off my artwork. Um, my favorite artist at the time was Tupac, and that goes back to the story I told you about the friend passing over new music to me, and me falling in love with it, and especially with Tupac. Now he doesn't deserve what I'm talking about. He doesn't need any introducing, any introducement, whatever. You know what I mean. English is not my first language. Sometimes I just come up with random words. Anyway, you all know who he is. And then I got the inspiration for my tag from his um, nickname. Well, it wasn't really his nickname, Tupac. Yeah, that was actually his real name, like Tupac Amaru Shakur. Yeah, that's actually his real name, if I'm not mistaken. However, and anyway, um, I used to have a nickname already. Family used to call me Suba. All right, Suba. My name is Hasib. Kind of slanged up into Suba, and then I decided that would be my name, but with a final C, right? So that it would sound a bit more cool, like someone like Tupac. So Subac became my new name for graffiti. My graffiti experience didn't last really long, honestly. It was probably 2, 3 years when I was really into graffiti and mainly on paper because I mean, growing up in a little town in Italy, in North Italy, by the lake, let's say it's not the Bronx, right? You can understand what I mean. So there was no competition, there wasn't much going on in the graffiti scene. And to like really meet other artists, you would have to take a train and go to Milan, right? And it wasn't really like a convenient path for me because, well, time distance and which wasn't even that big, but it would cost money, right? Money that as a teenager you don't really get for tickets to Milan and stuff, right? So yeah, I couldn't really pursue my passion in that case, and so I've always loved drawing, by the way, and I kept doing that, and I keep doing that. But the proper graffiti career I had to drop it like already at 18 or around that age. So it didn't last long. It didn't survive so long. Now what survives is the name. So my tag name is Subac. Now you know what does that come from, and it represents a lot of things for me. It represents freedom of expression in the first place. It represents creativity. So, and the cool fact about it is I am both Subac and Hasib. So Hasib would be my real name. But I'm Subac when I'm creative, when I produce music, when I listen to music, when I'm myself, when I express myself, and when I record videos, when I post shorts on TikTok, you know what I mean? Um, and it's cool because you can be literally anything you want in that name undercover, right? Without exposing the public figure, let's call it this way, without not even exposing, but without interfering with your standard life, like the whether you're a student or a worker, right? You can be you can go undergo a different alias and do cool stuff, do the stuff that wouldn't probably suit your your day-to-day appearances, right? So if I work as a, I'm just gonna say, in a sales department of a big finance company, right? It would be hard to kind of fit into their my creative side, and so when I go back home, I'm just gonna say I'm not that Hasib that works in the corporate anymore, but I'm Subac, and so I can become Subac and start drawing. I'm because I'm Subac, so I have that freedom to do that, and I can do my mistakes, and I can try new things without being afraid of the own opinion I have of myself, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, it's fine because I tend to get complicated sometimes. However, to go back to the core of the conversation, I've named this channel Subac Zone for that reason because your Subac Zone is a place where you can set yourself free, like completely free. Like you can pick up that pen and or pencil and start drawing. You can dust off your piano keys and start typing in music. You know what I mean? With no particular intent. It's just to let yourself free and enjoy something that otherwise it would take you a lot longer to discover again or to try as a new adventure if it's something new. And Subac Zone in this specific case would be for me the space where I share my art, my creativity with you, and I can only do it in my Subac Zone. And so Subac Zone comes also as a safe place for everybody to to get enlightened, okay, and to spark a bit of awareness, as in, you actually can pick up that dream and work on it again, and it's no problem. You can do it at whatever age, whatever situation you're in life. You can do it. You can seriously do it. And so this channel is not only inspiration for me to set myself free, but it's mainly a place for everybody to discover their own Subac Zone. If you're called, I don't know, Marco, you're gonna be Marco Zone or Marcus Zone in your case. Like if your name is Anna, it could be Panna Zone. Like it just you can. The good thing is you just twist your your name, turn it into a nickname, do something about it, or keep it original, and then add that zone part, and now you know where you can be yourself. Because I understand it's kind of challenging nowadays to literally express ourselves because society has imposed us defined roles, and it kind of it's difficult to think that you can be otherwise sometimes, especially when you work those extra long hours, Monday to Friday, and it feels like it's never enough. All right. Don't forget that you have a space where you can be creative and you can forget about everything else that's happening around you. And yeah. All right. Look, it's late for me, and this probably explains my pace, my tempo today, the way I talk. I'm tired, but nonetheless, I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point. And I'm not letting the time carry me away. Okay. There's a saying that says, "Don't let the urgent push away the important." Okay, so keep that in mind. Everything feels urgent today, but yeah.